All right, welcome back to the Explainer. So if you're anything like me, you probably find juggling a dozen different AI models just completely exhausting, right? Trying to figure out, okay, do I use OpenAI for this task or Claude for that one, and then constantly balancing between them. It literally drains your time and energy. But what if you just didn't have to choose? What if you had an autonomous manager doing all that heavy lifting for you? Well, today we're breaking down this really incredible tool called Sakana Fugu, which is basically an AI that acts as your own personal orchestrator.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start off by meeting your new AI manager, then take a look at Japan's super efficient AI evolution. After that, we'll walk through installing via the KDX CLI, get your API setup and pricing sorted, dive deep into Marin for goal-based research, and finally, wrap up with a real-world website generation test.
All right, Section 1. Meet your new AI manager. Before we get into the weeds, we really need to clear up a massive misconception about what this actually is.
Because, a lot of folks hear the name Sakana Fugu and just assume it's another standalone large language model trying to compete with the big guys. But no, that's completely the wrong way to look at it. Sakana Fugu is actually an AI orchestrator. It acts exactly like a manager. So you hand it a prompt, it understands your end goal, and then, totally behind the scenes, it evaluates all the top-tier models out there. The best of OpenAI, Claude, you name it. It secretly picks the absolute perfect model for your specific task, runs it, and then actually validates the result. You literally don't even have to tell it which model to use, it just inherently knows.
Think about how much that completely streamlines your workflow. It basically acts as a single, incredibly smart API. Instead of paying for multiple expensive subscriptions and, manually clicking around different interfaces, Fugu just intelligently routes your tasks for you. Because it understands that, hey, maybe an image model from one company is better than another's for this specific prompt, it delegates the work, compares the outputs, and then just hands you the best possible result. Plus, it plugs right into your existing systems and agents, instantly leveling them up.
Moving on to Section 2, Japan's efficient AI evolution. The actual historical context of how Sakana came to be is pretty fascinating, honestly.
See, while the rest of the world kind of caught the whole AI hype train around the time ChatGPT launched, Japan had been quietly laying the groundwork for years. They drafted their AI policy way back in 2016. By 2019, the government was already rolling it out. And then during the COVID era in 2020 and 2021, when the whole world was locked down, Japan was literally out there deploying AI robots to carry groceries and nursing robots to safely lift patients between beds. They even had physical elder care chatbots that made actual eye contact to keep isolated seniors company. So by 2023, they had already hit this massive nationwide AI integration.
But here's the really critical detail. Japan just didn't have the massive, sprawling data centers that the US or China had, right? So they couldn't just throw endless, raw compute power at every single problem. Instead, they got super strategic and built hyper-efficient, highly specialized models to control larger systems. That's why Sakana was built specifically as this lightweight manager to orchestrate other models. And they didn't stop there. They built LLM JP4 specifically for university networks, so students could actually peek inside the AI black box. They made Raccoon, which is optimized purely for corporate business reasoning in finance and marketing. And they even built Shisha, a model completely tailored to run smoothly on local Japanese hardware. It's just an absolute masterclass in working smarter, not harder.
All right, Section 3, installing via KDX CLI. Let's actually get this powerful AI manager running right on your machine.
We're going to jump straight into a quick terminal tutorial here, and honestly, it's remarkably straightforward. Let's start with macOS. Step 1, you just pop over to Google and search for KDX CLI. You'll grab a link there with the full installation guide. Step 2, open up your Mac terminal. And Step 3, just copy the standard installer command right from the site and paste it into your terminal. And that's basically it. It is incredibly punchy. Plus, what's really cool is if you already have an active ChatGPT subscription, it often just links up automatically without one single command.
Now, if you're on Windows, the process is just as seamless. You just open up your command prompt or DOS mode, paste that exact same KDX CLI install command from their site, and hit enter. And once that super brief installation finishes, whether you're on a Mac or a PC, you simply paste the Sakana Fugu launch command, which is essentially just calling KDX-Fugu. Boom, your brand new AI manager is officially live on your machine. You're quite literally just copying and pasting a couple of lines of code to get the whole shebang running.
Next up, Section 4, API setup and pricing. Because to actually make Fugu do the heavy lifting for you, we need to link it up to your account.
So first, you'll want to head over to the Sakana website, select Fugu, and get into the dashboard using a really simple Gmail login. Once you're in, just generate a brand new API key. Now, when it comes to billing, you've got choices. Option 1 is a standard monthly account, kind of like your typical $20 a month AI subscriptions. But option 2, the pay-as-you-go method, that's what I highly recommend, especially if you're going to be running complex, multi-hour agents. You know how standard models usually just exhaust their token limits and crash halfway through a big task? Well, with pay-as-you-go, you just load up a few bucks, paste that API key back into your terminal, and you are totally good to let Fugu run wild, completely uninterrupted.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 5, Marin, Deep Goal-Based Research. And this is where things get truly wild.
Because running wild without interruption is exactly what Sakana's crown jewel is all about. It's a product called Sakana Marin, and it fundamentally changes how we think about deep research. Think about how normal AI models usually fail us. They rely really heavily on strict token limits. So if you ask a standard model to dig up a complex security bug in a massive website, it searches for a bit, runs out of tokens, and then just gives up. It'll just tell you the site is fine. Quick, sure, but super shallow. Marin, on the other hand, uses goal-based processing. It acts like a relentless researcher. You give it a massive problem in, say, medicine or defense or finance, and it literally will not stop. It runs continuously for 4 to 8 hours, trying every single trick in the book until that specific goal is completely solved. The Japanese government actually used this exact system to restructure their IT and defense systems.
But, okay, all of that relentless multi-hour compute power does come with a pretty shocking price tag. $56, which, just to give you some regional context, if you're in South Asia, is roughly equivalent to 17,000 Pakistani rupees.
And to be clear, that $56 is the cost for a single, complex research prompt using Sakana Marin. So obviously this isn't a tool for drafting a quick email. This is a highly premium, ultra-serious tool built for massive pharmaceutical companies or defense contractors who desperately need a validated solution to a problem that would normally take a human researcher weeks or even months to figure out. You're effectively paying to hire an autonomous agent to work tirelessly for a third of a day, all on one single question.
All right, Section 6, Real-World Website Generation. Let's bring the tension down a bit and look at some everyday use cases.
Because, hey, you probably don't need to go cure a disease today, right? Let's see what Fugu can actually do for our normal everyday coding tasks. So, there was this really fascinating real-world test run recently to see if Fugu could recreate a highly complex, award-winning animated website called Ponder. The input given to the AI was incredibly minimal, literally just a simple text prompt and a URL link. There was absolutely no video of the animations provided to it, and the result? Fugu absolutely crushed it. It built this incredible site with totally flawless animations and fonts, and it vastly outperformed previous models like Claude, which usually struggled to keep fonts and animations properly aligned. Fugu handled the entire thing perfectly, and it did it in just about 7 to 8 minutes.
And to bring us all completely back down to earth from that crazy $56 research cost we just talked about, let's look at a much more accessible number, $3. $3. That was the total pay-as-you-go cost to generate that complete, fully animated, award-winning quality website from scratch in under 10 minutes. I mean, that really emphasizes just how incredibly cost-effective this pay-as-you-go model actually is for your daily dev and orchestration tasks. You're getting to reap all the benefits of having a hyper-intelligent AI manager directing the absolute best models in the world on your behalf, and it's literally just costing you a few bucks a pop.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a somewhat provocative thought to chew on. We are no longer just casually chatting with an AI. We are actively employing it, right? With an AI orchestrator like Sakana Fugu stepping in as an autonomous manager, one that can effortlessly delegate tasks to the best models and work relentlessly for hours while you're literally fast asleep, how are you going to redefine your workflow? The ceiling of what one single person can accomplish just got exponentially higher. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you all in the next explainer.